Okay, everyone, let's get started. So, my name is Sophia Hobby, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about goal setting throughout this workshop, and we're going to go through everything play by play. First, I want to start by introducing you to what we are. We are SARC, the Social Science Academic Resource Center. Here at SARC, we assist undergraduate students with obtaining a competitive edge for their postgraduate goals. If you plan on going to grad school, working, finding professional development opportunities like internships and research, SARC is here to ground you in scholarship opportunities, professionalism workshops like these, and graduate school admissions that'll prepare you for being placed into the community and working towards your personal goals. A little bit about myself. I am a peer consultant here. I'm a second year psychological science major and I minor in philosophy and management. So I'm a little bit all over the place, but I am here to help you guys because I have a psychology background, and that's what motivated me to come to SARC. I really like working one-on-one with students, and we do that a lot here with our one-on-one peer consultant consultations. So if you have any questions, if you want to have them answered here in a um, in a consultation, we're happy to help you. So our objectives today are learning what you love, assessing your skills, thinking smart, and planning your path. So we're going to go right into number one, learning what you love. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can discover some of your desires. First, it's good to define your values. What motivates you? What does success look like to you? What is your first step? And who will support you? I gave some more guiding questions that you can look at, but these are great questions to begin your search. Next, you're going to want to start to go through the steps play by play of identifying times that make you happy. I know that I felt most happy when I'm in situations that I can express myself artistically. I love having the artistic freedom to do what I want, have the liberty to express and contribute to things, and then be managed through that. So I like having that kind of freedom. Your next step, identify the times you were most proud. I know I feel very proud when I excel in competitive activities. Uh, I am a part of mock trial. And so being in an activity that involves competing against other people, academic rigor, things like that are what make me really proud when I excel in them. And your last step is identify the times that you feel most fulfilled. I know that working on a team for me is something that makes me feel very fulfilled. I like working in groups, talking to people, collaborating, cooperating. And because one of my goals is to be an attorney long term, I think that having the skill of being a team player, working well with others, will be a great transferable skill when it comes to working alongside co-counsel. It's things like that where you want to think short term and how they can be transferable to long term. And finally, you're going to want to assess some of common values that you may have across the board. Maybe it's achievement. That could look like making a positive impact in your profession. It could be balance. Maybe you like having time to work hard and play hard. It could be having a challenge, doing something that involves your full dedication, maybe having a job that's dedicated to doing projects. And if you like working on a project basis, you must enjoy identifying a problem and finding its solution. Any of these, community, creativity, discipline, maybe you like having a strong routine as opposed to it being more relaxed. Maybe you need the structure. Or maybe you like the flexibility. Maybe you like being your own boss and making a schedule for yourself that works for changes that happen day to day, week to week. These are all common values that I listed for you that are a great starting point to just get your brain jogging. So, next step is to assess your skills. What can you bring to your field? Conduct a self assessment. And the importance of this is to get clarity on what you can act on. Before you can act on anything, you have to find the clarity to make a plan. So, a great way is to start by brainstorming. And I provided some more guiding questions for you all. Where would you like to be in the next few years? I know that's kind of the $1 million question when you're in college is everyone's asking you, what do you want to do next? But it's an important thing to assess on your own too. Uh, which goals have you met and where do you fall short? I know for me, I've met the goal of finding a long-term internship, working at a law office. And I think that I need to gain more experience in research because I found out I like working more of the transactional side. So it's great to recognize your achievements, how far you've come, but also see where there's room for improvement. Uh, Find out what motivates you to get the job done. Is it having a flexible schedule, having the balance where you know that you're working towards the weekend? I like having a schedule where I don't work weekends because that motivates me. I like having Monday through Friday to do work and school and having my weekends to play catch up, hang out with friends. That's what motivates me. What are some of your strengths? And what are some of your weaknesses? These are questions that you may hear often in interviews, but they're great things to assess on your own too. Uh, and what makes you tired or negatively stressed? It's good to not only eliminate negative stress, but also know how to tackle it. So you become a better you and you become a better worker for wherever you see yourself, whatever field you see yourself in. Stress is everywhere, so learning how to manage it is really important. Next, you'll want to begin by identifying some of your interests. Hopefully, some of those guiding questions bring light to what your personal interests are. And oftentimes, they're identified by your hobbies. So, like I mentioned, I like having my weekends to myself. I don't work, and I like doing things like listening to music. I like volunteering. Here at SARC, I volunteer. So, that kind of fulfills my need of volunteering and helping the school's social sciences. I love learning, and so maybe sometimes I'll read or listen to a podcast. Those kinds of things are your interests that help you define what exactly you would see yourself doing in the future. Next, you'll want to spot some of your strengths. So, strengths are qualities and abilities you can evaluate by asking yourself how you work, how you think, how you influence others, and how you relate to others. Um, some examples can be you're persistent. Maybe you're the type of person who maybe you don't get something the first time around, but you keep putting yourself out there and applying to different jobs, research labs. And that too is a sign of resilience too. Maybe when you get rejected from something or somewhere, you get right back up again. Maybe you're really focused too. Maybe you can work really well in increments and dedicate a lot of time to being productive. Or maybe you're cooperative. Maybe you're a team player. You do well at collaborating. You might not work well on your own and you like having a team to bounce off of each other and bounce off your ideas. Those are all great strengths to have. Another thing is to, from there, analyze areas you can improve in. Areas of improvement are commonly referred to as our weaknesses, but it's important to see that these things can be changed, they can be developed. So maybe some things that you think you can improve on are your adaptability. Maybe it would be great if you took the time to learn how to work well with change. I think we all have a great sense of adaptability with making it through COVID-19. That's something that you really got to give yourself a pat on the back for, because we went from going from in-person classes to online. You guys were able to navigate a very digital world. Or maybe it's confidence. Maybe you need to work on walking with your head a little higher and being able to talk about yourselves. I remember learning a really important lesson about giving your 30-second elevator pitch to people that you want to network with. Just putting yourself out there in those ways. Delegation. If you're the type of person like me who likes to do everything on your own, it can be hard to delegate things and work on a team. And so that's why exposing yourself to team-oriented opportunities like working here at SARC, working at anywhere on campus where you're a part of a department, if you're in a competitive sport, those types of things help you learn things like delegation and organization too. And maybe you just need to learn patience with yourself. These are all things that may be weaknesses now, but they're all able to change. Our third thing that we're going to discuss today is thinking smart. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about SMART goals throughout school, but I just want to walk through the step to give you a little refresher and talk to you guys a little bit about how impactful SMART goals are with setting objectives. So does anyone here know what SMART goals are? If you do, type it below in the chat. You're not too scared, don't worry. I'll get right into it though. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Not sure if that rings a bell with anybody, but those are what our SMART goals are. So specific goals ask you, is this goal doable? Do you have the necessary skills and resources? If you don't, where are they? Who can you network with to find them? What resources are here on campus to help you get a hold of them? SMART goals are measurable. So what will you be using to measure this goal? Are you going to check in with yourself and measure through time and setting bi-weekly check-ins with yourself? Is this goal measurable in money? If it's a financial goal, are you going to check in and see how much money you're setting in increments aside for yourself? How often? How well? So that is what measurable goals are. Achievable goals are, is this goal doable? Is this goal in range of what you are capable of achieving and conquering? Relevant goals are goals that align with broader goals. So you have short-term goals and you have long-term goals. And you want to ask yourself, why is this result important? Because when you're chunking your goals, oftentimes you're going to constantly be achieving short-term goals that help you reach an overarching long-term goal. And finally, you have time-bound goals. Time-bound goals are often set in a time frame. You're asking yourself, what is the time frame for accomplishing this goal? Is it short-term or is it long-term? So let's get into those one by one. First, you're going to want to decide the scope of your goals. How big and how many? Goals are intended to focus attention and resources on what is important so you can be successful in achieving your priorities. You want to set your intentions. Are you increasing something like a GPA? Are you making something? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to make a product? Are you improving something? Are you adding to what this school has to offer? Are you adding to a team? Are you adding to a club or an organization you run? Are you reducing something? Are you making something more efficient, time efficient, resource efficient? Are you reducing costs? Are you saving something? Are you saving money? Are you saving yourself time? Are you saving yourself any sort of stress? Um, or are you developing someone? Are you in a mentorship? Are you developing yourself? These are all great questions to ask yourself. Being specific in the SMART, the S in SMART, is all about the 5 whys: who, what, when, where, and why. Who needs to be involved? Do you have the resources to do this on your own? If not, maybe you need to reach out to somebody who does. Maybe you need to start networking, asking friends, asking family, asking professors. Just share your goals with them and see what they can do to help you. It'll be great to ask, what is the detailed process? A really vague goal might be, I want to get better grades. Well, what is better grades to you? How are you going to show improvement quarter by quarter? What are you going to do to show improvement quarter by quarter? What resources will you need? These are all important. What is the time frame? Time frames are important because that's the T in time bound. What obstacles could come up? Is there anything like, I don't know, say a conflict that comes in the way? Any sort of obstacle, like maybe you have too much on your plate and you've got to let something go. How might letting that thing go affect reaching your specific goal? And what is the reason for this goal? You need to ask yourself, because that is the R. A lot of times with SMART goals, these things are very interwoven. So asking yourself the reason for a goal is bringing the R into light. So let's ask ourselves, what is a measurable goal? The first thing is to set milestones for yourself. If you have the goal of reaching a higher GPA, maybe you set that goal by your graduation. You want to have at least a 3.75 GPA. Well, how are you going to improve quarter by quarter? Maybe that is your milestone. Each quarter, you try and raise your GPA by whatever percent. You need to celebrate each milestone and then also assess the metrics. Is it going to be qualitative or quantitative? Like it is with a GPA, you're looking at a number, that's a quantity. But maybe you have a qualitative goal, like you want to do better in school. That's a qualitative goal, because doing better might be shown in ways such as taking thorough notes. Maybe it's getting involved in study groups. Maybe it's using some resources like LARC. Those are qualitative metrics that would be used in descriptive words. So qualitative are descriptive word metrics, while quantitative are number metrics. Achievable goals. Achievable goals are assessed through asking yourself, how do I accomplish this goal? What are the tools I need to succeed? And how do I get the gear and training? So, to begin accomplishing a goal, I think it's necessary to ask yourself if you need help from others, because no man is an island. So, if you need help with other people, it's important to reach out and use resources. And SARC is here to help you all the way. And ask yourself how it can be accomplished. And through those resources, you can find the tools you need. So say you want to get involved in research. Maybe your goal is to put on a research presentation at UROP, the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. Coming here, you can learn a little bit more about that. will tell you the tools necessary. And if you don't have any of the tools in your pocket, you're going to ask yourself, how do I get that? From there, that is what you need to do on your own to find those tools. So it's a whole cycle of asking yourself what needs to be done, finding the tools and resources being told to you, and then doing it all over again of finding what needs to be done, getting the tools. And it's very cyclical, but it involves reciprocity. It involves putting in the work, receiving the tools, and then using those tools. Next, we're going to get into what a relevant goal is. Relevant goals consist of alignment and priority. So when deciding goals, you want to consistently work towards an overarching goal. If your overarching goal is, let's say you want to get your driver's license, that's an overarching goal. That is not super specific because you need to think, what are the steps to get your license? You have to maybe take a written exam. Then you have your behind the wheel. What tools are you going to use in the meantime to prepare for the written exam? Finding an overarching goal will then help you go step by step and find the process to then prioritize the objectives. So getting into organizing objectives by urgency, value, and importance is really important in deciding relevant goals. Relevant goals are often determined by what needs to get done first and what you value. I know we talked a little bit about brainstorming common values, but that comes into play when you're deciding relevant goals. And then setting those by importance is the last step of prioritizing your goals and making them relevant. Finally, the last step about creating your SMART goals is the T, which is time bound. Time bound goals are really important because when the clock starts running, there's urgency. Setting a target time or date will drive you to prioritize and focus on your goals. So if you have a goal, maybe it's weight loss, checking in with yourself each week is a great way of setting time restraints and setting timed structure into your goal. Maybe you have a goal of going to the gym. That's a part of weight loss. How often are you going to go to the gym? Setting things like, I'm going to start at 2 times a week. That's all I can afford right now. I know it's final season, so it'll be harder to incorporate that now. And you can increase the increments. Maybe you want to become more consistent. And after 2 weeks of going to the gym 2 times a week, you want to up the ante. Maybe you want to go 3 times. Maybe you want to go crazy and go 5. Like starting at a small number and increasing the increments or changing the time bound restrictions helps you reach your goals, and it could set you towards a trajectory of reaching them faster. So last thing I want to do here is create our own goals. With the tools that we have, I want us all to use a Jamboard that I created and start putting sticky notes onto certain categories that I think are relevant to us as students. So I am going to stop my share real quick and put on a little Jamboard that I have. Okay, so here's the Jamboard. I'm going to share the link with you guys. Copy that and put it in the chat. So go ahead and hop in there and start thinking about goals that are smart. Think about what we covered. You want to make it specific, you want to make it measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So go ahead, I'll work with you guys and we can start coming up with some SMART goals. Okay, let me know if you guys can see the chat now and log into that Jamboard. Okay, kind of just want to check back in with everyone, see how people are doing. I see some great SMART goals being created. I gave two examples. So for career, I listed that I want to receive my paralegal certification upon graduation. I will continue working as a legal assistant 20 hours a week and meet the California qualifications through weekly training modules. So you see, I have it's very time specific. It's very relevant to my goals of wanting to become an attorney. It's achievable because I'm currently working at a law office and I have the means to do it. Um, it's measurable because I'm allotting 20 hours per week and doing weekly training modules. You see that I have a weekly time basis and they're specific to me and what I want to do. I also put that I want to begin a stretching routine, dedicate 10 to 15 minutes a day right before bed, and increase the increments by 5 every 2 weeks. So that's extremely measurable. I put time restraints. I have a time frame, giving myself 10 to 15 minutes. I think I can make that happen. That is realistic to me, that is relevant to me, and it can be measured every 2 weeks and increase to see improvement in my health. I see another example here. I want to build a budgeting spreadsheet tailored towards my needs and the typical college student needs. So that's great. I think that's a very specific goal to you. And to just build off that even more, I suggest you make a spreadsheet that has time measurements, that has achievable goals of how you can budget and how you can see improvement in your finances. It's always important to see how much you've improved and seeing the areas of improvement like we've discussed today. That's a great goal. And another one under the academic and intellectual goals, I see I want to attend USC for my master's in public administration after undergrad. That's another good one. Sounds super specific and relevant to you. Just think about the process you want to make that happen through. Are you currently studying business? Are you taking classes that meet the prerequisites for that program? Are you looking like a competitive applicant? I highly recommend that the student go to the USC's program website for public administration and find exactly what are the requirements for eligible applicants. And from there, come to a place like SARC where we can help you get a competitive edge on your application. That sounds like a great goal, and I think you're well on your way to achieve it. So that is just something that I wanted to share with you guys to get you started. Uh, and the last thing I wanted to do was introduce a table to you all. So this is the groundwork. This is a sample of what I'd like you all to take away from this. This is an itemized goal setting table, very specific to the item you want to achieve, the process you're going to do it by. That is kind of like the achievable, how you're going to do it. Measurements, the M in SMART, the benefits of it. That's kind of like the R. How is it relevant to you? The resources, like I said, that's kind of like the A again in SMART. Is it achievable? What resources do you need? Where are you going to go to find them? And progress. How are you going to measure your progress? That's the T. Um, do you have milestones that you're going to celebrate and evaluate yourself? And I put year because depending on the measurement you'd like to use, maybe you'd like to see overarching progress year by year. So I'm going to show you guys a quick little thing that I made for you guys to take home. This is a goal setting spreadsheet that I have to share with you. I'm going to enable the sharing so that you guys can all take this home with you. And you can all be editors. Or you can make a copy for yourself. I'm going to copy this link and put it in the chat for you. So go ahead and take a look at that and go crazy. I want that to be your little souvenir that you use after this is all done. If you have any questions, anything about what we learned today, I'd be happy to answer them with this time. It's kind of Q&A time. So if you have any sort of questions about how to set goals, this was a lot of information. So if you have anything that is relevant to the slideshow, to you personally, if you have a personal question, I'd be happy to answer. But if you don't have any questions, I just want to say that I hope you take away from this clarity, organization, and motivation. That's COM. I want you to keep calm throughout this because setting goals is supposed to give you the clarity to work orderly, to find the purpose that you feel like you have, and to find the reason, find your purpose in acting towards them. Thank you so much for coming. And with that, I'd like to extend a helping hand. If you ever have any questions, come on down to SARC. We're happy to help you and meet any of your postgraduate goals. I'll stay back for any questions. No questions? Okay, bye everyone.